Hey everybody, this is Riker Rider, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Dragoon. Last time, we got stuck. What are we gonna do? Well, we obviously can't wait around and do nothing. This is a JRPG. There is an item shop and a weapon shop here if you need them. And I would definitely use the weapon shop here because there are upgrades that we can buy here. We can get the glaive for L. And if you didn't get the Beast Fang drop in the Dragon's Nest in Disc 1, you can purchase it here, finally. Which shows you just how powerful that weapon is at the point in the game you get it. Warrior Dress we already have. Really the only things that you want here are the weapons. Oh, what's the item shop have? If I remember, you can actually buy dancing rays at this item shop, which are going to be very useful in the future. You know what? Let's get rid of some shit. We're not going to need this many Sun Rhapsodies anymore, because we're not going to be using magic for a while. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to get rid of all of them. That total vanishing we don't... You know what? Actually, I think I'm going to hang on to this total vanishing, because it'll be useful against a certain enemy we'll have to encounter later. For now, though, I'm going to buy a handful of dancing rays, because I believe all but one of the enemies on the ghost ship are dark elemental. One other thing of note is if your Dragoon edition, or not Dragoon editions, your Dragoon levels and your edition levels are low, this is actually a fantastic place to grind them up, because the enemies here give lots of gold and lots of experience. And if you're not concerned about Dragoons and just want to gain gold, this is a really nice place to get it too. This is an encounter-free zone, but it's very difficult to dodge encounters here. See all those will-o-wisps that are going flying around here? Well, touching any one of those will get you into an encounter. This place is just freaky as hell. But then again, it's supposed to be a haunted place. That's the point of a haunted place, is to be freaky. There's a few items you can get here, and you can only come to this place once, so make sure you get everything here. What bastard? Huh? The music for this place is perfect, too. My question exactly. Where's that guy going? Oh, step too far. But I do need to demonstrate the battles in here. The one disadvantage to using Rose here is since most of the enemies are Dark Elemental, she should still have the Demon Stiletto equipped. And being that the Demon Stiletto is Dark Elemental, it won't do very much damage to the vast majority of the enemies on the ghost ship. Luckily, these will-o-wisp enemies show up in almost every battle, and they just happen to be the only enemy here anyway, that has an element that's not dark. They're actually fire elemental. Unfortunately, they have an annoying tendency to dodge your attacks, which is why you may want to consider putting a War God's Amulet on Rose, because she's going to be the one doing most of the damage to the non-Dark Elemental enemies. And a third thing you may want to consider is equipping Shauna with the Sparkle Arrow, because it does slightly more damage against enemies that are Dark Elemental. There really isn't anything special to most of the enemies around here, except two. One of which you can run into only in limited numbers, and the other one and the other one's pretty rare. As you can see, the experience drops in this place are pretty high. There isn't a whole lot to this ship. You just have to go around and you'll have to go around and explore all of it in order to make progress. Yeah, unfortunately, the guy in the chest is going to reanimate 3 skeletons for us to fight, so I'm going to deal with them and be right back. Make it. Nope. This is probably the only time in the game, I might do it one other time, but this is probably the only time in the game that that you're going to want to use, what is it? You're going to want to use Shauna and Rose together. Since they both have really low HP, you're going to want physical rings. Now, the new enemy in this particular fight is really dangerous. The Magician Bogey has very high magic defense. You can't just throw a Dancing Ray or even a Translight and expect to win. How much HP do they have? They have a whopping 800 HP. I would still recommend using Dancing Rays on these guys, because they're it'll get rid of the cronies. And it'll do a whole bunch of damage to the Magician Bogey even. Oh, that was terrible. The thing that makes the Magician Bogey so dangerous is they have a special attack that can inflict the Bewitchment status on one of your party members. Generally, the best way out of that, if you have the SP for it, like if your party's at full SP, this is the attack that does it, and Shauna got Bewitched, which is not good. It's basically it's a permanent confusion status, as far as or permanent as far as what is it? Oh, great! Now Rose is bewitched too, and it's not a 50% bewitchment either. It's guaranteed to bewitch the target. Now, hopefully, this will finish. Good. It only expires when the target that when the enemy that casts the bewitchment effect on you is defeated. So if you don't have a whole bunch of mind purifiers, the best way to get out of that is to use a Dragoon special to transform everyone into a Dragoon, so you can get rid of that status as soon as you can. Because what can happen is your party is going to end up wiping itself out. I was really scared when 2 of my party members got bewitched like that. In this chest we get 50 gold. Now before heading into this room, I want to rearrange my setup a little bit, so I'm going to do that on my own time. Okay, we're back. I've made some minor changes to my setup. Namely, I gave Rose the War God's Amulet that I said I would. But the main thing I did was I made sure everybody in my group had full SP. If you have Magic Ego Bells, you won't get any naturally, but if you purchase some Magic Ego Bells, as a matter of fact, you can buy them here, you may want to consider equipping them for this next encounter. Dart's Burning Rush is getting up there, and I switched Rose to more and more because her Whip Smack edition is just about done, and she should actually be learning her 3rd edition shortly. I think she gets it at level 19. But I know it's soon. Okay, let's go in here. This chest we get 20 gold. And make sure you have your setup right before you're going to open this chest. Because even though this chest has what would be considered a normal encounter, I actually think that this normal encounter is harder than the boss. Because as you can see from the screen, you're going to have to fight 3 magician bogeys at once, all of which can use their bewitching attacks. Even though this is not a boss fight, I would strongly recommend, when Shauna's turn gets around, to start the special with her. Because since all these magicians are Dark Elemental, this is actually one of the few times in the game where Shauna's attack magic is actually useful. And you don't want to wait until after one of your party members gets bewitched, because if Shauna gets bewitched, you're not going to be able to start the special with her and be able to deal all that extra damage. So you'll actually be able to see her Star Children spell in action and see what happens when you fire the special off with her. Enjoy, guys! Personally, I think light as an attack element is awesome. But that's just me. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but the main reason why we transformed into Dragoons is to keep out of that really annoying bewitchment status. Before your Dragoon forms expire, you should be able to finish off at least one of them. And I don't believe I've shown off Dart's explosion magic either. So when his turn gets around, I'll be able to show that off as well. This is one of the few times in the game where area of effect Dragoon magic is actually useful. It doesn't do a lot of damage because the magicians have high magic defense, as you would expect. I just wanted to show that off because now would be the best time to actually do so. Now, hopefully this will fix, turn the tide in our favor. I kind of can't wait to show you her ultimate magic if I ever get there. But in none of my test playthroughs did I ever get Shauna up to her max Dragoon. And of course you use the attack afterwards. What a jerk. Another thing you might want to consider if you have Rose's Dragoon level up to level 3 is use her Demon's Gate spell, because that's going to do if you have Rose's Dragoon level up to level 3, you're going to want to use her Demon's Gate magic spell, which is going to insta-kill all of these guys. And if I can get one of my regular characters to have a turn, I'm going to use a total vanishing on one of these guys. I probably should have done that from the outset. But I'm an idiot. is probably the only time I'm ever going to use Dragoon magic outside of normal encounters. Or outside of boss battles, rather. This is the only time I'm going to use Dragoon magic in a regular encounter. Now let's go ahead and use that Total Vanishing on this guy. That should kill him. Yep, there we go. Well, I made that a lot harder than it needed to be. But I did get to show off 2 pretty awesome Dragoon spells. And by that I mean awesome looking. They're not that useful outside of this corner case, but they're there and they're awesome. Okay, but you know what? While we're in this corner of the ghost ship, I want to demonstrate something. There's actually a mini game you can play aboard the ghost ship. Now take note of these numbers as they come up. 0, 2, 5, 5. Oh good, we got a duplicate. That's awesome. Okay. Now 0255, remember that? Remember those 4 digits. There's a special room on the end of the ship that we can go to with those 4 digits. I think it's this one. It's one of these 2. Yeah, it's this one. See that treasure chest there? That treasure chest is locked with a numerical lock. You have a limited number of chances to input the correct combination. Well, I'm going to input the combination 025. You use because the lock is a combination of 3 of those 4 numbers. 025 obviously wasn't correct. If Dart is silent, then that means at least one of your numbers is correct. If Dart tells you how many chances you have left, then none of those numbers are correct. So we're going to try 055 and see if that changes anything. Okay. Okay, because we changed the 2, then that means the 2 is correct. So we know the 2 is correct. We know the 2 is correct and the 5 and the 0 aren't correct. So the combination has to be 520. And we get a stun guard. Now you can repeat the side quest later, but you're going to have to go back and get different numbers. Because the numbers change every time you do the quest. And regardless of whether you pass or fail. If you run out of chances, you'll have to fight a battle against 3 skeletons, and then the number will reset. The prizes that you will get from opening the chest, you'll get a stun guard for the first time, and you have 10 chances. You'll get a panic guard. You'll get a panic guard the second time around, in which you have 8 chances. You'll get a magic eagle bell the 3rd time around, and you'll have 6 chances to do that. The 4th time around, you'll be able to get a... can I dodge these guys? Nope. Ah, here's the last new enemy, Death. These guys, I believe, have an insta-kill attack. Yeah, they do. Remember that attack that Double O Parts used? Yeah, these guys can use that lightning attack, and it can instant KO you, so you may want to take care of those guys first. And their physical attacks aren't exactly a trifle either. Their magic defense is low, so I think I'm actually just going to go ahead and use a Dancing Ray on these guys, just to get rid of them quickly. This will probably kill the Will-O-Wisp because they don't have very much HP. It'll definitely get rid of the death, though, because its magic defense is low. Oh, the Will-O-Wisp... Oh, right, the Will-O-Wisps do have no, not 160, they have 180 magic defense. So I guess we'll just have to finish them off with physical attacks. Which I guess isn't bad, because then I can get addition practice with my party. And addition practice is always good. Yes! Finally! Finally, Dart levels up his Dragoon and gets the final burst spell. This is probably his most... It's his most useful Dragoon spell by far. And it's going to continue to be useful for the rest of the disc. Now, as I was talking about the chest minigame, for the fourth... If you open the chest a fourth time, you'll be able to get a talisman. You already have one of those from the first disc, but you can get another one here. Now, if you manage... But you only have 4 chances to get the talisman. And then there's one more item you can get from the ship minigame, and that is an Ultimate War God. That's the 10,000 gold accessory from Lohan that automatically completes your additions for you, but you only have 2 tries. I've never managed to get it, and I've only ever seen somebody get it once, and that is when you have a triplicate of a number. I've gotten the chest in 2 attempts before, but not when it mattered. Personally, I think that the only item that's just really worth getting from this chest is the talisman, because having a second talisman is going to prove to be valuable, especially in Disc 4. $100 gold, 200 gold, and we get the key to the Phantom ship. That key will open up that locked door that I passed next to the ship room. Oh, I actually dodged them. Awesome. I guess those guys don't come back until after you go past a certain point. What's going on? Princess Luvia, who's that? And why are they attacking Rose? Protect from who? So how many times is this? How many times has that line been repeated? Huh? That's not blatant foreshadowing at all! Well, I want to get the talisman. I want to get the talisman from the ship minigame, and I'll at least try to get the Ultimate War God. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to save my game in a different slot. Yeah, I'm going to just save my game in a different slot so that I can come back to the Ghost Ship later if I need to. And, you know what? I should probably use a Healing Breeze here as well. Maybe restock. Maybe buy another Dancing Ray or 2 for the boss fight. I'm going to... Do I want to do the boss fight now? No, I'm not going to do the boss fight yet. I'm just going to go ahead and... I'm going to go ahead and just save this boss fight on the Ghost Ship for another time. Yeah, I'll just do that next time on Let's Play The Legend of Dragoon. See you guys later.